class. Today we're going to begin our weekly unit about the causes of the Civil War. The following quick video is going to give you guys an overview of all the different causes we're going to be studying this week.
Okay, class, as you guys saw, we're going to be going over some different causes of the Civil War today. The first one that we want to talk about in this hook video is slavery. The main point here is that slavery throughout the history of the United States is known as one of America's biggest mistakes. And also slavery is one of the largest and biggest root causes of the Civil War for the main reason of that the southern states who seceded linked slavery to states' rights, and they believed that slavery was their state right and that all states had the right to perform slavery if they wanted to, and it was a state issue and not a federal government issue. That's the main point, is that the southern states believed that it was a state issue, not a federal issue. The other main point I want you guys to get from this is we want to touch on it briefly because slavery is the overarching cause of the war. So what do I mean by that? Slavery fits into all the other causes. Slavery is an issue in all the other causes of the war. The Missouri Compromise we're going to go over today. President Lincoln's first election in 1860. And the economic differences between the North and the South were all dealt with slavery. So slavery is the overarching cause of the Civil War. Okay, class, the Missouri Compromise is the second cause we're going to look at besides slavery, even though, as I said, slavery is going to have a theme in the Missouri Compromise. The Missouri Compromise started because Missouri wanted to enter the United States as a slave state, but that would shift the balance of power in Congress. There would be more slave states than free states, and the northern congressmen were worried about this. So the compromise was if Missouri got added as a slave state, Maine would get added as a free state. The second big provision of it was, as you guys can see by the map, this latitude line, the 30-degree latitude line. Any state that entered the United States above the line would be a free state. Any state that came into the United States that was below the line would be a slave state. Now, the issue with this compromise is that it didn't work, and eventually it got reappealed for the Kansas-Nebraska Act. So keep that in mind. It was passed by Henry Clay. He was the main compromiser in it, and it did do a great job in kicking the can down the road, but it was not a sufficient fix, and because of that, it's a major cause of the Civil War and the tension that would rise because of this issue about free states, slave states that would come up later. Okay, class, we're now going to look at President Abraham Lincoln's first election in 1860. President Lincoln's election in 1860 is known as the final straw for many southern states when it came to their seceding. President Lincoln obviously was a non-slavery candidate. He was the first Republican ever elected to the presidency. The southern states believed that Lincoln would totally upend their way of life and that the United States had totally gone against slavery, and that the President Lincoln being elected would be the last straw. Their last hope, the southern states believed it, was in Southern Democrat John C. Breckinridge from Kentucky. Breckinridge was the pro-slavery candidate. And now, as you can see, we're looking at the electoral map from that year. In this election, you needed 152 electoral votes to win. President Lincoln won 180. And as you look at the electoral map, I really want you to see how the country was divided between North and South. Lincoln winning the northern states, Breckinridge winning the southern states, but of course Lincoln winning the majority, winning the election, and as I said, the final straw in getting the southern states to secede. Okay, class, the final cause we're going to look at is the differences between the northern and southern economies. They were totally opposite. As you can see by the chart, the southern economy was totally agricultural. They had the vast majority of large farms between the two. The southern economy was totally dependent on slavery, and because of that, it's a big cause. Because the southern economy needed the slaves, and the northern economy was more manufacturing, railroad jobs, so the South felt like their entire way of life and economy was being attacked.
Okay, guys, we went over the 4 causes of the Civil War in that hook video. Right now, what I want you guys to do is get grouped up into groups of 4, and we're going to begin a little DBQ group read over slavery to start our cause of the Civil War unit.